Good morning.
Good morning.
Would you join me in the call to worship? We lift our eyes to the Lord,
the one who created the heavens and the earth.
We raise our voices with song and speech.
For God has given us reason to pray and praise.
We offer our lives in gratitude.
As Jesus has provided us with life and love.
Let us lift our eyes to the Lord and join me in singing of the opening hymn for all the saints, number 637, verses 1 through 4. Awesome God, you created the world and all that is in it. You blessed each element of creation with your love. Make us aware of everything that attempts to distract us from you and from an appreciation of the world's beauty. Open our spirits and let our transformative love spill into each of us. Prepare us to be witnesses to your mercy and compassion through the gifts you have given us. With gratitude in our hearts, we offer these words in the name of the Christ, the saving one of the world. Amen.
Creation, and its
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
You're getting around real good. You're getting around real good today. You're getting around real good today. Wow. Wonderful.
You're doing great. Keep it up.
Yeah.
You've been living.
Well, good morning, sisters and brothers. Good morning, saints and sinners. Good morning to those who are in the process of trying to be a little less sinner and a little more saint. It is an ongoing process for all of us, but I am glad that you are here this day. If you are a visitor, we say welcome. We are glad that you are part of this community of faith for worship, a community that continues to strive to put love first in all things. I do want to remind you that in those your worship guides, you'll find those blue cards. Please take a moment to fill those out. On the back side, there's a place for you to put your prayer concerns. It's something this congregation takes very seriously, so I hope that you will take the time to do so. There'll be a time later in our service to bring them forward and place them in the baskets. Unless you're thinking about joining, then we say keep a hold of the blue card, and you can give it to me or one of our elders at the close of the service. At 4 o'clock today, our elders are meeting. I want to invite all of our elders. I think we are being joined by some of the adult Sunday school teachers as well. It should be a really wonderful meeting. I hope to see you there. Last Wednesday night, we took a break because of Halloween, but we will be back with our Wednesday evening programs this week and hope to see you there. For the last few weeks, and specifically last Sunday, we were talking about our stewardship campaign, this idea of begin, a spirit-filled restart. And in your worship guides last week, there was an estimated giving card, and we invited you to take that home, to be prayerful for it, and to possibly bring it back this week. If you did not, there's another one in your worship guides, but I invite you to place it in the baskets that you find out in the hallway, or in these baskets later in the service. If you're not quite ready, that's okay. Those baskets will still be here next week, and you can place it there. But it helps us to be good stewards of all the resources that are given to this congregation. And then finally this morning, I want to give a quick update about where we are with the county. Some essential paperwork was signed and returned to the county. The last conversations between our attorney and the county attorney's office have been completed, and it looks as if we are on track for an early December closing. So their survey team and design team and architects have already been on campus, and they are going forward full throttle and are very excited. And so I am excited. There could always be something that causes this, but we don't see that. Continue to make this, though, a part of your prayer life. Today we begin a month of gratitude. A month in which we strive toward making thankfulness more and more a part of our lives. More than just the occasional thought. To live as Paul suggests in Ephesians 5, to be thankful always. But to be thankful always, that's a stretch for most of us. And so I think the hope for us is to continue to push at least one step forward in trying to make that spirit of gratitude more and more a part of our lives. But to do so, we often need to make an adjustment. When I was first diagnosed with MS, in my time of recovery, as I regained mobility and strength, my doctor recommended I go to a chiropractor. I met with the chiropractor, and the chiropractor explained that where my lesions were on my spinal cord was the same place that I was out of alignment. Now, he was quick to point out it wasn't the cause, wasn't the reason for the MS, but it was an irritant. And so he had me lay on my side, and he pressed right here. And he pushed hard, and then dropped the table and jolted me. And a shock ran through my system like I had never experienced before. I don't know if I'd use the word painful, but uncomfortable might fit. And I just lay there for a few moments. Finally, I sat up, and I finally got up. And within about 4 or 5 minutes, the residual numbness that I had in my hands, what they call the drop neck syndrome, where you drop your neck and you have this rush of numbness, it was gone. Now, I had to go back every month. Sometimes it would last 3 or 4 months. But it didn't matter how many times I had it done, it was a shock to the system when he would adjust that part of my neck. Sometimes we need an adjustment. Our inner selves need an alignment. And even though it might appear that we need just a minor tweak, it can cause some discomfort. And yet, for us to truly be realigned, that discomfort is often necessary. Years ago, I had to drive a van where I was working. And that van, at the time I was driving it, was already 20-some years old. It was an old 3-on-the-tree clutch. And I don't think it had ever had an alignment done. And it was okay when you were just driving around on the work site, short distances, but sometimes I had to take it out on the road, on these dirt roads. And it was a constant struggle to keep that van on the road. I would suggest it was dangerous because of the alignment, or in that case, the lack of alignment. Now, I'm not going to suggest this morning that when you are out of alignment that it is dangerous. But there are problems, significant concerns when we are not living in alignment with God, with God's vision and values for the world. When our gifts, those spiritual gifts that God has given us, when we are not using them toward that vision and toward those values. I believe the Spirit, the living Christ, is always trying to align us more fully with God. And yet that adjustment, that realignment, can be uncomfortable. It can be a shock to the system. It can even be painful. In part because we have become accustomed to being out of alignment. Because we have become acclimated and comfortable with misalignment. As strange as this may sound, I think Jesus is in the business of making us uncomfortable when there is misalignment in our lives and we are not in line with